All right, y'all, what's going on? GoofyRhexxi here. Hope everybody is doing well, and we're back at that time of the month again. I mentioned that we were going to start doing the roster review videos of my own roster every month, just to kind of give a quick update as to what's going on with me. These videos are essentially just to kind of give some insight into how I play the game, how I go about building my roster. Maybe you guys can find some information that can be helpful here, or maybe it's just exciting to see the progression of the roster as well. But yeah, I got a couple things to go through and talk about this time around here, because last time I think we were talking about Dark Dimension 5, right? And my plan for Dark Dimension 5. We're now, well, last time we did our roster review, 100 was 1,006 days, right? Now we're at 1,035 days in, and some pretty good progression in terms of Dark Dimension 5. Now, we haven't started as of yet, but we're getting very close to being able to start right now. We actually have 4 characters that we do have at G16. Pocket Dimension was pretty big in terms of being able to provide me with some solid resources here that we could use to start or get close to Dark Dimension 5. We've also made some changes too to some of the characters that we're going to be bringing into Dark Dimension 5. So we're going to talk about that too as well. But this is what we have so far. I think last time I already had Shang-Chi at G16. If I'm not mistaken, or maybe we did it right after. But since then, we've been able to bring up Ghost Spider, we got Cloak, and then we also brought up Scarlet Spider as well. So now all 4 of those characters are currently at G16. Now, we were kind of flirting with the option of bringing in Dagger. And to be honest with you, I actually can bring up Dagger right now and bring her to G16 as well. Where's Dagger? So she's right here. If I wanted to click on that button, I could easily do that and bring her in. But of course, with now Morgan Le Fay being an option for Legendary and being another Mystic character, I already have Icarus and Cersei who are on the plan to go into Dark Dimension 5. I don't really want to bring in another Mystic character, because that's gonna be Doom, that's Cloak, Doom, Icarus, Cersei, Morgan Le Fay. If I choose to then bring in Dagger, that's a 6 Mystic character, and Icarus and Cersei are kind of expensive, right? And Doom takes up a decent amount, and Morgan Le Fay's 54 mini uniques. I just don't want to go that hard in it. Now, I did also kind of sort of think about bringing in Morbius as well, because we were doing Pocket Dimension, right? And I was like, okay, well, he's 36 pieces. He's kind of cheap as opposed to Dagger, who's 72 pieces. But I was like, no, once again, it's still a 6 Mystic character. So we're decided to just go against that idea. Even though we could bring her up right now, we're going to go with the characters that we already have there. And then we're going to be bringing in, as a 5th character now, we're going to be bringing in Spider-Punk, which are actually pretty close to being able to get the resources that we need to bring him in. Largely, the reason why I'm even considering Spider-Punk is because for the anniversary event, in the orb, I was able to get, I think it was like 25 or 20 pieces of OZ formula. So that kind of propelled me and gave me the opportunity that I needed and the resources that I needed to be able to at least consider him, because before, the only reason why I wasn't considering 3 Red Warrior characters is mainly because of the Oz formula. I didn't have enough of it. I only had 25 pieces, and that was pretty much basically just enough to be able to get Scarlet Spider in. But now we actually have enough. I think we actually even picked up some more after that. We have 25 pieces here again, so we can bring them up, and we think we're just short. I'll show you what my gear looks like right now. So I've been keeping up to date a tracker here on MSF.gg in regards to like where my gear is right now. It looks like I only need 40 more pieces of isomers in order to be able to bring him in, and then 50 more pieces of phosphates in order to be able to bring him in. And then I think I'll feel fine there. In an ideal world, I probably would prefer to bring in OG Spidey, but OG Spidey is going to be a little bit more expensive on the origin gear side, as well as on the mini unique side also. So yeah, we got 47 pieces here. We got 39 pieces here. I would need, what's that? 7 more pieces there. And I would need what? I hate math. What's that? 15 pieces that I would need of the marrow extract in order to be able to bring him in. Maybe I'll consider it, but overall, I just kind of think, let's go with Spider-Punk. We're going to want to bring up our Web Warrior characters anyways for the Scourge event, now and in the future. So might as well just bring up Spider-Punk, and then maybe after we're done with Dark Dimension 5, then we can build up our OG Spidey and Miles, who like I said, in an ideal world, they have better kits. They have better kits, man. So it actually probably would have been a little bit better to bring in, but we're going cheap. We're trying to be cheap a little bit and going with characters that are not as expensive, but still will be effective. And I've heard some good praise from Spider-Punk as well. But we made some changes here on the global side too. So we decided to take off Maria Hill, and we took off Kate Bishop here in regards to our global plan. So now we're going to be going in with Doom. That was always there. Captain Sam, we were never going to change that. Emma, kind of because she's sort of the only mutant character that makes sense, or only one of the few global characters that make sense. There's been some other global characters that I've considered to bring in, but a lot of the ones that I would honestly consider are kind of expensive, or maybe they're also mystic characters, or maybe just not that great. I even considered Zemo, but I'm like, okay, Zemo is another skill character. There's Agatha, another mystic character. I don't know. I'm Kate Bishop I had as a tech character. Voodoo is another mystic character, but I just decided, you know what? I think the best bet to go here is to bring in Sharon Carter. She's a better option than Maria Hill. We were talking about it last night on stream. Maria Hill is good in raids, but in terms of like Dark Dimension, there's a little bit more control that I would get from Sharon Carter by having her be able to do the ability block and the stuns. And of course, Lady Deathstrike is a relatively cheap option as well that can help out with some slows. And so I think overall this is probably the best that I can do right now based on the gear that I currently have available to me, and I'll be able to at least get some solid value out of these characters outside of that as well. Cosmic is still the same. We're still sticking with these 5 right here: Kestrel, Icarus, Cersei, T'Challa, and then Phyla-Vell. And then legendary, we took out, I forgot who we took out, to be honest. I think it was Phoenix. We had Phoenix right here, so we took her out. Now we're going in with Doc Ock, Black Bolt, Omega Red, Jubilee, and Morgan Le Fay. And to be honest with you, we're probably hoping that maybe we can also drop Black Bolt as well, because I just don't think, based on what we know right now, is kind of considering them for a Dormammu counter later on down the road. But now that we're going to have a full Darkhold team, I don't really think that I need to kind of force my hand where that is concerned anymore. So we're probably going to be dropping him as well. But speaking of the damn Darkhold team, man, good God almighty. Oh, God. So I've been doing some math and some calculations on bringing up my Darkhold team, and I got some numbers, man, that are pretty alarming in regards to building up that Darkhold team right now. So I did some spreadsheet work and punched in the characters. Right now, I'll show you where my Darkhold team is. So my Darkhold team is, we're kind of slowly building them at the moment. We're spending like 2.3 million gold a day now. We're kind of slowly building them up. We got Doctor Strange Heartless to level 71. He's at gear tier 12. We put the T4 in the passive there. We got Wong built up a little bit. The goal is to really get everybody to 85 and 15, right? Including Scarlet Witch, Wong, and then of course eventually Agatha Harkness, and then Morgan Le Fay. I did some math and some calculations on the gold that I'm going to need to use to bring that entire team based on where they are right now. So this is not even considering these 3 characters at level 1, but these characters where they are right now, Agatha and Morgan Le Fay, not even at level 1 yet. And the gold amount was really alarming to look at. 46 million gold is what I'm going to need to be able to bring these characters from level 1, from where they are right now, some level 1 like Morgan and Agatha, all the way up to level 85, gear tier 15. And this is also including the T4s that I'm going to equip on them as well. And this team is super T4 heavy. I mean, if I'm looking at the calculations here in regards to T4s, I'm pulling up a spreadsheet here, and let's count them. So I mean, there's Doctor Strange's basic, his ultimate, his passive. You have Scarlet Witch's basic, special, her ultimate. That's 6 right there. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I mean, you're looking at 16 T4s for one team. That alone is just crazy to think about, right? And that's really where I'm getting the 46 million gold from. And then if we just look at just not even just the gold that I'm spending, right, for that, it's also the gear, right? There's a bunch of gear, man, and I'm also dropping on these characters as well. I'm trying to find my sheet here. This is a magnified version of some of the gear breakdown here. So I am going to lose over 2,200 arcane powder, superior arcane powder. I'm going to lose 2,200 of those vials. I'm going to lose about, yeah, you can see what the numbers are there. I mean, just the amount of gear that I'm going to lose right now to bring these characters up. It's insane how much I'm going to be spending. And I think it's like over 10,000 SBCs, right? Just to be able to bring all those characters up. It is going to be a very expensive April when we're talking about resources here. Now, I know this team is going to be worth it. They're going to be good in a plethora of areas, at least in arena, probably in war. Some of the characters probably can be plug and play with Deathpool in raids, but man, still looking at all of this, I'm just like, wow, this is a lot of resources spent. This is a lot of gold. This is a lot of gear, and I'm gonna have to make up for this, right? Look at the psionic excessins, right? The G15s. I mean, I'm going my mythic geodes. I'm going from 320 all the way down to 32. The essences, I'm going down from 517 to 229, and then of course the mini uniques. It's just an insane amount of gear just for this team, and I'm not even. Keep in mind, I'm not planning on building up my Dark Hunters, right? My Dark Hunters are not going to get built up. So if I was building up my Dark Hunters, can you imagine even more like where my gear would be? It's absolutely insane. But that's pretty much basically what we're planning on doing right now over the next month or so with that Darkhold team. I thought about going through some save squads here, but I really don't think that there's much that has changed from the last time when we did this. I'll show you some of the changes I made to like my Blitz roster. Not really much here. I mean, it's still some of the regular cookie cutter teams with that team here. We did change up our before we had like Eternals right here. We changed this up a little bit. We throw in Wolverine and Sabretooth here and Minerva just to kind of help out with some damage. And then, of course, give some a little bit more sustain here, because really the Marauders combo was not working. This was is still a team. This is still a team here. Black Order. Because we made those changes, we swapped out basically. We swapped Mystique and Strife for Wolverine, right, and Sabretooth. So they're here, but this still wins because of Omega Red, Lady Deathstrike. This has been a solid team for me. That wins pretty high with the New Warriors and the rest of the Asgardians here. Cookie Cutter. This pretty much, I think a lot of people use this team. This team still wins. Shadowland can be a little dicey. They still win. We're using Silver Surfer here, and we threw in Vision just to kind of give the defense up on spawn, but to Star-Lord and also to Rocket Raccoon, but it's not great. There are some matchups that get a little dicey. Depending on what character I pull, right, because of Silver Surfer and how high invested he is, that can get a little dicey as well. This comp also kind of inconsistent, but but there are moments where T'Challa can carry it depending on what's available that's around there, so that works as well. This also a little dicey, but Deathpool usually is the last. Deathpool and Invisible Woman usually the last man standing. These three characters right here usually die. This team is very consistent. Young Avengers is extremely consistent in Blitz. Surprisingly, they beat some teams I didn't think that they would beat. So very consistent in Blitz. This is what we did with Dark Hunters. Yeah, Kestrel, Nick Fury, Kestrel basically carrying. We did put Moondragon and Cersei together. Honestly, this is actually a pretty good high percentage team that wins often. Doom, yeah, Doom's gonna carry that right here. This is what we've done so far with our Darkhold team. We got Strange, we got Scarlet Witch. This actually wins how it's supposed to. There are issues there. This is fine. This is fine. That's fine. It's all the same. Zemo hard carries that. That's fine. Phyla carries this. That's fine. This wins when it sometimes it doesn't. But based on how low we are in the tiers, whenever we're using this team, it usually does win. Yes, Icarus is carrying their power armor, and then pretty much basically so on and so forth. Ultron carries, and these teams right here, sometimes AIM might do that too, but these teams that are down below are pretty much basically my trash reset teams that I'm using right now. And then for raids, not much has changed. The only thing that I'm doing differently right now with raids, because we're doing Doom 2.2 raids right now, and I needed a different strategy for some of these nodes. So for this skill node in particular, this is what I used for the first skill node right here. And then for the second skill node, I'm actually taking out Maria Hill. This is a suggestion from Wiz, somebody in my alliance here. So shout out to Wiz on that one. But I take out Maria Hill and I throw in Zemo and keep in Shang-Chi. And this is actually a higher success rate that I've had with this team here than taking out Maria Hill or taking out Sharon and putting in Zemo. I realized that whenever I was taking out Sharon, I was losing the offense up. That was not helping me to clear some of the nodes as fast as I wanted to. And also I just don't have the fire. I didn't have the firepower by taking out. Sorry, I would take out Shang-Chi and then putting Zemo and leave Maria Hill, but I just didn't have the firepower that burst damage from Shang-Chi, so it wasn't that great. And I used to take out Sharon before and then putting Zemo and Shang-Chi. Didn't work the same. So now with Zemo, Sharon, Shang-Chi, Kestrel, and Captain Sam, this works really well here because I'm able to get him to ability block Silver Surfer. Then if I have Shang-Chi's ult, which I usually do, I'm able to use his ult. Well, Captain Sam does his ult first, I believe. And then Shang-Chi does their ult. Pretty much basically clears the first wave. The second Silver Surfer drops. We're able to stun him with Sharon Carter. And then the matchup is essentially over. The only thing that really kind of hampers the matchup a little bit is that sometimes I do have to eat that blind from Magneto, but usually it doesn't matter because Silver Surfer is dead anyway. So I can kind of just clean up the node. So that's been working really well. Tech, we're using the same team here. Tech is still a nightmare. We're just going one lane in 2.2, so this seems to work fine there. I don't really use this at all anymore. I can't tell you the last time I used that, like, ever. And then this is just the boss node right here. So I usually use T'Challa, lean into Colleen Wing to prevent her from doing her ult, or for her to do damage with her ult, and then use Lady Deathstrike on Doom, slow him down. And usually I'm able to sustain enough to where I can have I usually have Doom's, based on the previous node, I usually have Doom's cooldown ready to do his ultimate, so I can pretty much basically just delete Doom in that boss node. I can't one-shot it yet. I can't one-shot it, but I can at least take out like the first 7-8 characters and just leave it for somebody else to kind of go in and clean up, which to me is a successful matchup, right? To be able to at least get that far, I'm 100% cool with that. But yeah, everything else pretty cookie cutter. These are some of my my Greek rate teams that are down here, but that's pretty much it, guys, in terms of the roster, what we're doing right now. We do have some passion projects that we would like to work on moving forward, like Young Avengers, and also one of the teams that you guys know how much I love mutants. One of the teams that have really kind of, I keep on highlighting, but I just can't get to work on them, man, is my Uncanny X-Men team. I would so love to build up Magic and get her pretty high. Honestly, I've been considering bringing her in as opposed to bringing in Phyla-Vell for that Cosmic node, because I love mutants, and it's nostalgic for me. Storm, probably going to be getting that costume soon. I want to build her up too. I just know that right now, if I bring these two characters to G14, that although they will be helpful in war, it may not be the best use of my resources, but every now and again, man, I got to have fun with this game, or else I just get bored. Or I just get frustrated with having to build the meta. So probably at some point in time, we will dive into this. We're probably going to dive into Young Avengers first, because I mean, I know Young Avengers is my favorite faction in like Marvel ever. So listen, guys, that's pretty much it for me. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that you would like for me to do in the future when it comes to these roster reviews here. But this is what's going on right now with me and what I'm working on, who I'm bringing into Dark Dimension 5. Way too much gold, man, I'm going to be spending right now on this Darkhold team. But listen, I guess it's going to be a necessary evil, right, that we're going to have to do. But yeah, more future content coming. We're going to be making a bigger updated video on some of the beginner teams or beginner characters, probably sometime next week or so, once we kind of get some more information on where Dagger's going on, or actually get notification of Dagger actually going to the raid store, which is what's rumored by now based on the data mines. But yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. But appreciate you guys watching the video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also check the links down below, one to my Discord, some others that are there too, Patreon, another way to support the channel, Amazon coins if you're looking to save some money on your Marvel Strike Force in-game purchases, Twitter, Facebook, check all those out, guys. Appreciate you guys so much. Until next time, y'all be blessed, y'all be safe. Bye. Ooh, ooh.